Have you ever planned a tropical getaway for summer? You know, a magnificent week chilling on the beach, having margaritas served to you every hour, reading a book while enjoying the sound of the waves, getting a natural suntan that will make all your friends back home jealous. But then reality hits and it's time to leave your all-inclusive resort and go back to your routine. Does it ring any bells? Well, what if I tell you that you can make the dream come true and start a new life in a sandy heaven? Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of Mexico Relocation Guide. My name is Mariana, creator of Mexico Relocation Guide, which is your best online resource to make your dream of moving to Mexico possible. In today's video, we will go beyond the internationally known and favorite beach resort destination for tourists all around the world. We will explore the real Cancun, a city that not only offers all-inclusive experiences and timeshare presentations, but a peaceful and quiet lifestyle. An inclusive community, great and diverse food, awesome residential complexes, and best of all of this at a very, very affordable price for beach living. Are you ready? So get your snorkel gear on because we're about to dive in. Cancun is located in the municipality of Benito Juárez in the state of Quintana Roo in southeast Mexico. And unlike a lot of colonial cities in Mexico, Cancun is a young city but started developing only in the 70s as a tourist destination, even though its history goes way back before that. The area we all know as this first-class beach destination was first the home of native Mayan people. It has been discovered that a particular tribe called Itzeis lived in the region. There are some remains of the cities and buildings they built, such as El Meco and El Rey, both of them believed to be pilgrimage sites as well as observation points that worked to see who was coming to the shores, as well as an observatory for the Mayan people, who were actually expert astronomers. The word Cancun derives from the Mayan language, and it's an adaptation to the words can and kun, which roughly translates to snake's nest. Now, after the Spaniards conquered this part of Mexico, and many Mayans either died or were forced out, this left an uninhabited area for years, until Fonatur, which is Fondo Nacional de Fomento al Turismo, made plans to develop this part of Mexico into a tourism destination that we all know today. On the 20th of April in 1970, construction work started, and 1 year later, in 1971, the government made it official and founded the city of Cancun. Soon after, other investors came and started to develop this into a city, with its main attraction being the beautiful beaches, the natural beauty, and the warm weather year-round. This is a place that has an average 85 degrees Fahrenheit all year round, so it's summer every single day. The summer months are hot and humid, and the winter months are warm with a nice ocean breeze and less humidity, which is why the Riviera Maya is a popular place with snowbirds escaping the frigid cold up north. Now, what is it like to actually live here? Well, Cancun is a very diverse city. The city was built by immigrants from other states in Mexico, including Campeche, Yucatan, and northern parts of Mexico. Cancun has been growing a lot, and lots of people have seen big opportunities, not only nationals, but also international investors that started developing Cancun into what we know today. Cancun is a very cosmopolitan city that's extremely diverse. You'll find people from all over Mexico, as well as North Americans, Europeans, Asians, and in recent years, people from other Latin American countries like Argentina, Venezuela, Colombia, and all others have come to this place to find the dream that original settlers were looking for. The city keeps growing and expanding by the day, so this is a land of opportunity. It's not uncommon for people from various parts of Mexico to migrate to Cancun for work. Due to the large amount of tourists the city gets every year, there are lots of jobs here. People have come with nothing and thrive in spectacular fashion here, and the locals are happy to see it, happy to receive people that come with a growing and supportive mindset. So if you're coming to Cancun to live here, it's a good idea to adapt this mentality and help the community grow. Whether it's by shopping local to support local arts, to integrating into the culture, which is proud and lively, to learning how to speak Spanish. A big deal with the locals is making sure that tourists help keep the beaches clean and respect the environment. And if you make Cancun your home, you'll probably quickly be a part of the same group of people who take pride of living in this beautiful paradise. Now, despite the heavy flow of tourism and the great number of foreign residents living in Cancun, Spanish is still the official language in Cancun. Although you will see a lot of retail and private businesses catering to foreigners with things like English menus, price tags in US dollars, medical practices with English-speaking staff, real estate companies that only post in English, and those kinds of things. However, if you truly want to live like a local, then your Spanish will make all the difference. Practice a few phrases with the locals each day, and you'll soon start to get the hang of hearing it on the street and with your neighbors. Plus, Mexican people are some of the friendliest people in the world, and if you try to learn Spanish, they will truly appreciate it and try hard to understand what you are trying to say, even if you're not fluent. Now, what about housing? Well, luckily because Cancun is such a large city, there's a variety of rentals and real estate in all budgets. Whether you want a modest house in a quiet neighborhood or be close to it all, be close to the action, near the beach, shopping, nightclubs, or even if you're looking to live in a high-end condo, the city has it all. So let's start with a few neighborhoods we think are worth checking out. The most famous area is, of course, the Hotel Zone, also known as the Strip. The Hotel Zone, or Zona Hotelera as it's known in Spanish, is a high-end area of the city. And even though you can find some rentals here, most of the properties are actually for sale. The people that choose to live here are normally wealthy Mexicans and foreigners with a higher budget. To give you an idea of some rentals here, you can expect to pay $1,500 for a monthly rent for a 2-bed, 2-bath condo. Or you can expect to pay around 10 million pesos to buy a house. One particular area within the Strip is the famous Boc de Boc, normally recognized for being the first golf club in Cancun. This area is residential as well. You can find big houses, some apartments, and they're also building condo complexes inside this area. If you search well enough, you can find 2-bedroom apartments renting for 15,000 to 16,000 pesos a month. Although they are very rare, they are not impossible to find, but you will have to work a lot harder to find these. Some more common rentals are houses with 3 bedrooms, a nice pool, a garden, and more space that rents for 30,000 pesos a month. That's around $1,500. Now, you also have to keep in mind that this covers resort-like amenities such as access to a golf course, a community pool, a community barbecue area, green spaces, and those kinds of things. Plus, you're in the middle of it all. You have stores within walking distance, a walking-friendly neighborhood where you get fantastic views of the lagoon. It's a very quiet lifestyle and a very important one, there's security 24/7 in this area. This is considered one of the safest areas in all of Cancun. Now, we also like the area of Guayacan. You're not far from the Strip and you'll find very moderately priced rentals here. Rentals start at around 14,000 pesos a month for an unfurnished 3-bedroom house. So that's around $700 to about $750 a month, depending on the exchange rate. Now, maybe you don't want to live where the tourists live, or maybe your budget isn't quite as high. Then we suggest leaving the hotel zone and living in the town of Cancun. We like the gated community of Arbolada, Aqua, Long Island, and Rio. Houses here rent for 17,000 pesos a month or about $900, depending on the exchange rate. And you can sometimes find more affordable homes, just depends on the services included by the landlord or the amenities of the place. Now, if you're looking for a fully furnished house in this area, you can expect to pay around 25,000 pesos a month. There's also a lot of options for you if you want to consider downtown Cancun. And I say that because Cancun is so young, the downtown area is extensive and sometimes hard to define even for the locals. Also, Cancun itself doesn't have colonias or neighborhoods as you're used to seeing them in other parts of Mexico. Instead, the city was planned and divided into what is known as supermanzanas. Think of these as boroughs, and each of these have a number instead of a name. For example, there's Supermanzana 2, Supermanzana 2A, 4. These are all near Nader Avenue, an area that is close to shopping and restaurants, and it's really highly desirable to live here. Rents here range a lot in price, but you can expect to find rentals starting at 14,000 to about 18,000 pesos a month. That could be anywhere between $700 to $900 for a nice 2 to 3 bedroom house, depending on the exchange rate. Another well-known peaceful neighborhood is Santa Fe, which has expanded and has different segments. An average to rent here would be around 12,000 pesos for a nice big house that's really modern, not too old, not a fixer-upper. And last but not least, you have the neighborhoods near Avenida La Luna and Cojun Lich. These are known as the Supermanzanas 40, 44, 45, and 50, which are where a lot of the local working class live. Here, you'll find nice 2-bedroom, 2-story houses that are nice for couples or even families, and you would be living among the local community. Now, we think you'll love this area because not only are you living amongst the locals, but rents tend to be very inexpensive. You can find an apartment for 9,000 pesos, which is around $450 to $500 US. You can also find really nice homes or houses starting at 12,000 pesos, which is around $600 US. Now, the cost of utilities in Cancun is the same regardless of where you choose to live. Basic services are widely available and reliable. You get your water from Aguacan, electricity from the CFE or CFE, gas by any company you choose, but most locals go with Zetagas, and your internet by Telmex, Izzy, or Total Play. Your water bill will be around 400 pesos a month for 2 people, and you get the water bill each month, which you can pay online or directly at their offices. Electricity, however, is more expensive if you compare it to some of the central highland cities in Mexico because you have to use air conditioning. And trust me when we say you will need air conditioning living in Cancun. Now, most households have at least 2 units, one for the living room and one for the master room. Your electricity bill can go up to 2,500 pesos a month or around $125 US a month, just depending on how much air conditioning you use daily. Gas will cost you around 800 pesos a month for a 2-month period for 2 people, and you will either have a stationary tank refilled or a 30-liter gas tank on your patio. Internet should cost you around 350 pesos a month for the most basic service. That's about 20 megabytes download speed. It does go up to about 1,500 pesos a month for the highest package, which is 1 gigabyte of download speed. The average household has a plan with 200 megabytes that costs around 700 pesos or around $35 US a month. Now, we still have a lot to cover, including healthcare, shopping, how to get around, things to do, beaches, so much more. But before I get into these topics, I want to bring your attention to the comment section of this video, where you will find our free Living in Mexico email series. This includes our expert tips and advice on things like residency visas in Mexico, finding the best rentals, the most common mistakes new expats make, and how to avoid them, healthcare in Mexico, popular cities to live in, and so much more. And I've broken it down into 10 easy-to-read emails. That way you don't get overwhelmed with information. The link is in the comment section of this video. Okay, now let's get into shopping. So now that we gave you a sneak peek into the neighborhoods of Cancun that we recommend, let's get into the regular part of life, and that is grocery shopping. Now, even though Cancun is not the capital of the state of Quintana Roo, it sure feels like it. You can find everything you need from imported to local products. And even though Cancun doesn't have a historic center like other towns where there are local markets, we do have a local market in Cancun, which is called Mercado 23 or Mercado 23. Now, this isn't a huge mercado, but you can still find everything that you would in other mercados similar to this one, like fruits, vegetables, cheeses, spices, dairy, butcher items, seeds, candy, and handcrafts. You can go and check it out, and actually, we highly recommend you to. However, most locals do their shopping at supermarkets like Walmart, Chedraui, Soriana, Costco, Sam's, and Superama, usually because of the convenience. Prices in Cancun are a little bit higher in comparison to the rest of the country, mainly because most of the products, whether national or international, have to be transported here from other parts of Mexico. Because Cancun is focused on tourism, agriculture is not a focus. So to give you an idea of a month's worth of grocery shopping, including food, cleaning products, household goods, without being stingy and really treating yourself, you should be looking at spending around 5,000 to 6,000 pesos a month for 2 people. That's about $300 US a month for 2 people on monthly groceries. However, recently there's been a boom in organic markets and produce, not only in Cancun, but all over Mexico. If that's important to you, you won't have trouble finding several small stores selling organic goods and products. Now, normally the cost of these kinds of products is more expensive than the average canned goods or the fruits that you can get at the supermarket. But if you're looking into taking care of your body and what you put into it, then they're worth it. Now, for other necessities or useful goods like tools, doing your laundry, books, decorations, and things like that, there are also a lot of other options. Now, what about medicine? Well, the healthcare quality and availability in Cancun is top-notch. In recent years, the city has placed itself on the map for being a top destination of medical tourism. There's been a boom of people who travel to Cancun exclusively to get surgery or to treat an illness because it's a fraction of the cost of what they would pay back home, including airfare and lodging. And if you're from Canada, you can easily have surgery or access to medical procedures without having to wait for months. Now, a lot of people who have moved to Mexico, and particularly Cancun, have improved their health significantly, either because they are more active, they eat fresher foods year-round, or because the weather is so nice every day that they are motivated to be outside and walking. And living in Cancun means you'll have access to a number of great parks, free outdoor gyms where you can get in a half-an-hour routine, or just a nice power walk to keep yourself in good walking shape. Now, if you're into more demanding physical activity, then there's a wide variety of gyms, CrossFit, functional training studios, water sports, yoga, Pilates, and everything in between. Now, if you have a smaller medical issue like a cold, stomach bug, or similar, then you can make use of local private consultations at pharmacies like Farmacias Similares or Farmacias del Ahorro, where you can get a quick medical consultation and prescription starting at 50 pesos. And that's without insurance. Now, if you want to take advantage of the local social healthcare system, you can pay an annual fee to join the IMSS, or IMSS, which is the institution providing healthcare to Mexican citizens and permanent residents. They have a big hospital near the Santa Fe area called Hospital General. It was built no more than 10 years ago, and it offers great services, specialties ranging pediatric to oncology treatment. And if you want to have a more customized and private attention from staff, then you should look for private hospitals such as Hospital, Galenia, which both of them are top-notch, have modern facilities, good equipment, specialist doctors, and a variety of English-speaking staff, nurses, and doctors. Getting from point A to point B in Cancun is actually pretty easy. Because Cancun is not huge in terms of distances, and it won't be hard to get from one point to the other. And even though there are around 1 million people living here, the city was planned for people to easily get around. The average ride from point 1 to point B, or any point in the city, should be no more than 10 to 15 minutes. If you're trying to go a further distance, then you can expect to take more time than this, but it won't be more than 25 minutes. Anything further than 25 minutes is considered far away by local standards. Now, for public transportation, you have taxis, buses, and combis, which are community passenger vans that make frequent stops at major intersections. You may also know them as colectivos. A combi is 10 pesos, a bus ride is 14 pesos, and a taxi ride should be around 80 pesos within the urban area of Cancun. However, they tend to charge more if you're going to the hotel zone. Uber is now officially operating in Cancun. However, you want to be cautious when using the service since the taxi drivers union in Mexico are openly and somehow violently against Ubers. It's been a hot topic of debate, protest, and even attacks to drivers and users of the app from part of the taxi drivers. Hopefully, by the time you move to Cancun, though, this issue has been resolved in a proper manner by authorities. Which is why, for the time being, we recommend taking taxis whenever possible in Cancun. It'll save you an uncomfortable situation if it were ever to happen to your Uber ride. Plus, there are taxis everywhere. And we recommend saving the number to a few taxi services so you can always call one if you're not near a major road. Now, if you'd rather walk or bike, cycling and walking is common and fairly easy, especially if you're moving around the vicinity of your neighborhood. And because most neighborhoods have their own stores, convenience markets, schools, and such, it's usually easy to get around, unless you live on the outskirts of town. Having a car in Cancun isn't really necessary depending on where you live. We think it's easy to use public transportation or walk to nearby places. But if you were to own a car in Mexico, you can find a variety of used cars through sites like seminuevos.com or buying new through a various dealership in town. Although you should know that because there is an excess of cars in Cancun per household, there tends to be traffic jams, especially during rush hours and holiday weekends. Now, if you're looking to go further, to neighboring towns, cities, or even countries, Cancun has plenty of long-distance buses at a fraction of the cost of flying and on a very comfortable bus. You'll have access to major companies like ADO or ADO, a major bus company around Mexico, which has bus routes to many parts of Mexico. Now, if you need to travel even further to a different country, or maybe you have a time constraint, then you can easily find several flights through the Cancun International Airport. This airport has 4 terminals, and it's the second busiest airport in Mexico. From Cancun, you can fly to the United States, Canada, Europe, South America, and even Asia. And in some cases, flying from Cancun or landing in Cancun results in cheaper flights. Now, if you're into sports, there are plenty of sports clubs, tennis and pickleball courts, golf courses, water sports in the lagoon or at the beach. Some of these sports clubs include Casablanca, which is one of the best and most known in town, or you also have Sports City, a popular chain around Mexico that has a weight room as well as a variety of group classes. There's also Aqua, a gated community where you can play tennis and pickleball. And for golf enthusiasts, there are at least 3 golf courses within the metro area of Cancun, starting with Poctapoc, or you have one in Playa Mujeres, which you can access by car from Puerto Juárez. You also have a nice golf course in Lagos del Sol, a suburb near the airport that has a golf course and an artificial lake. Now, if you prefer to be a spectator, there's also a nice stadium where the local professional baseball team Los Tigres plays. Now, if you're more into arts and culture, Cancun won't have all the museums you'll see in Mexico City or other big cities in Mexico. But there is a theater hosting plays and performances throughout the year. Now, if you prefer nightlife, Cancun won't disappoint. And even though Cancun is known as a popular spring break destination, you'll actually find a lot of casual bars along Nather Avenue that cater to a more tranquil setting. There are also a variety of wine bars and all sorts of restaurants with cuisines from around the world. Now remember that Cancun is a cosmopolitan and diverse community, so it has a great and wide variety when it comes to international food and restaurants. A lot of the notable restaurants in the town are near Nather Avenue, which is becoming trendier by the day. And another notable area to have a nice dinner is the Hotel Zone. And Cancun also has several malls. In fact, one of the most visited is Plaza Las Américas, also known as the Malecón. This mall has a nice movie theater on site and even a supermarket. Then you also have La Isla Fashion Mall. La Isla also offers a lot of international brand stores, a variety of good restaurants, an aquarium, food court, and you have an incredible view of the lagoon. If you like high-end shopping center, then you should head on over to Puerto Cancun Complex. And there is no shortage of good shopping in Cancun, which is why a lot of people love living here. Now, of course, probably one of the main reasons you're drawn to Cancun is for its beaches. And man, does Cancun have some of the most beautiful beaches. Cancun has 9 public beaches, 2 in Puerto Juárez and 7 in the Hotel Zone. Depending on what kind of beach day you're looking for is which one you should visit. If you want to be in a crowded beach, maybe to socialize with friends, or find more activities to do rather than just tan and relax, you can opt to go to the beaches near Cocobongo, which are Forum Beach, as locals call it, just behind the Hard Rock Cafe. You can also go to Xacmul Beach, just next to it, which is a bit more relaxed, but also very frequented. Playa Delfines, also known as El Mirador, where the famous city letters are, is perfect if you're looking to relax, read a book, and just enjoy a peaceful afternoon on the beach. And one of the most photographed in the area is Playa Maroma. Now, because you'd be living in one of the most beautiful beach areas of Mexico, you're never too far away from other places like Tulum, Akumal, Xpuja, Mahahual, and so many more. But not everything is beaches. In fact, the Yucatan Peninsula is famous for its iconic cenotes, which are natural sinkholes that have a fresh body of water. Swimming in a cenote is an experience that shouldn't be missed. And just a 40-minute to an hour drive from Cancun, you can find these hidden natural gems. There are also a lot of amusement parks, whether being water parks with zip lines and slides like Xcaret, Xel-Ha, Explore, and Wet n Wild. Or you can also visit the more experimental theme parks like Census or Xochimilco. All of these parks offer all-inclusive experience for a really moderate fee, and once you become a resident, you can show your residency card and get even bigger discounts for your entry fees. Now, we think it would be very hard to get bored in Cancun, but in any case, you're still near a lot of pueblos mágicos and interesting neighboring cities like Mérida, Valladolid, which are both in Yucatan, where you can find a more cultural offering with museums and lots of history in both places. Now, if you live in Cancun, you're in the epicenter of the Mayan culture in Mexico, so you have a lot of archaeological sites nearby, like the one in Tulum or Coba, which is 1 hour drive from Tulum. There's Ekbalam as well. And we must mention that the world wonder of Chichen Itza is only a 2-hour drive from Cancun. It's open every day to the public. Just be mindful that even though you can visit these ancient places, it also means you should follow some local laws and regulations. If you decide to tour them, it's a really good idea for you to hire a local guide, not only because you're supporting the local economy and the archaeologists that run the site, but you will learn a lot and would become more sensitive about the importance of the developments that this ancient culture brought to the world. So as you can see, there is so much more to Cancun than just the resorts. Living in Cancun is great for those who want to feel like they live in a lively city with beautiful beaches in your backyard, plenty of outdoor things to do, dining, shopping options, great medical facilities, all while enjoying summer every day of the year. So do me a favor, let me know in the comment section what you think about Cancun. And don't forget to check out the free Living in Mexico email series. Again, my name is Mariana. You are watching Mexico Relocation Guide. This is not goodbye, just an hasta luego. And I will see you very soon in the next video. Nos vemos!